Welcome, and thank you for being here for this very special program for Veterans Day, done by the Eagle High School Performing Arts Programs and the Career Technical Education Programs in conjunction with the Eagle Lions Club. This is a special time that we recognize veterans, that we say thank you to them for their service, and a special time for all of us for everything that it means to us. I'm Larry Gebert from Idaho's News Channel 7, and I'm very proud to be here. I had 3 sons who attended Eagle High School and graduated from here. The oldest joined the United States Army, and after 4 years of service, retired as a veteran. At this time, I would ask that the audience rise for the presentation of colors by the Ada County Sheriff Office and the Eagle Fire Department Color Guards. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance from Eagle High School Freshman Class President, Roman Walker.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you continue standing, join in for the Star-Spangled Banner by the Eagle High School Chamber Orchestra. And also, as a special time, we have the Sonus Choir to perform our state song, Here We Have Idaho.
Here we have Idaho.
Each year, a student is selected from out of Eagle High School to give a very special presentation that they put together that talks about Veterans Day, that discusses the many important aspects of this, and gives sometimes even a historical perspective. Today is Eagle High School senior Adele Levanger.
Jack Rencher was one of my family friends. He passed away in 2010, but was good friends with my Nana and Papa for over 40 years. My cousins and I called him Grandpa Jack. Grandpa Jack was a pilot during World War II, and when my cousins and I were little, Grandpa Jack would come over and tell us stories. He would tell us about how he decided to enlist in the Air Force after Pearl Harbor was bombed. He would tell us about how he wanted to fly one of the small and fast jets, but instead got put on a B-17 Flying Fortress, a massive bomber plane. But despite this, he flew this enormous bomber with the same agility and quickness that the best jet pilots used. He told us about the time when his plane crashed and he saved a German soldier that he found in a bomb hole. He told us about when he got put on a P-38 and was flying through German smoke screens. His plane was hit with debris. He looked down and saw his abdomen torn open, and so he took the 2 red neckerchiefs he always kept with him and used that to stuff his intestines back into his body. He barely made it to England and was rushed into surgery. He told us about how that was the end of his days in the war. When I was 6 or 7, these were fun stories. But as I've grown older, I've been able to get a better picture of the impact that these stories have. Each of us are in a unique stage in our lives. I'm finishing high school, but some of you might be starting a family, buying a house, or enjoying more free time after retirement. We're all in different situations. Even my peers who are also graduating high school are all living vastly different lives with different circumstances. We are all on incredibly different paths, but we have all been benefited by the sacrifices made by the many men and women who have fought to preserve our freedoms, the many Grandpa Jacks of our country. Looking at historical and current events, I am reminded of the unique position that we as Americans are in, to speak freely, learn in safety, and to help dictate the direction of our country. All of this and more is due to the sacrifices made by the many Grandpa Jacks we honor today. I have the freedom and choice because Grandpa Jack gave up his. I have the liberties and independence that I do because of the sacrifices made by the Grandpa Jacks who fought for me. And for that, I am so grateful. So today, I would like to invite all of you to reach out to the Grandpa Jacks in your life and thank them for their service.
And now, we have a special performance that represents Idaho's premiere of this new composition composed by Meridian resident Bill Erickson. It's the Fanfare for Freedom by the Sonus Choir. As part of this very special day, we have a guest speaker who comes here to reflect on their military service, what it meant to them, what it means to all of us, and gives us a chance to truly understand. Today, it's a member of the Eagle High School faculty, Stephen Pratt. He's a retired major of the Idaho Army National Guard, serving 31 years for all of us. He had 2 tours of duty in Iraq. He was a commander of Field Artillery Battery Assistant Professor of Military Science, U.S. Army Liaison Officer of the 2nd and 4th Brigade of the 4th Iraqi Army Division. Please welcome, at this time, Stephen Pratt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eagle High School students, my fellow Americans, it is my deepest honor today to try to represent sailors, airmen, soldiers, Marines, Coast Guard members, and this new title now, the Guardians, which are Space Force. Also on behalf of firefighters, policemen, people that wear the uniform, I'd like to share just a few words, which is really a small part in what has been a huge sacrifice by many of these people from the past. What I date in my history to the military goes back to Lieutenant William Pratt, my ancestor who settled in 1636 in Connecticut. He fought in the Pequot War. And then again, I had a 5th generation great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Obadiah Pratt, private, fought for General Washington in the American Revolution in the New York State Militia, or the Colonial Militia at the time. And my journey in the military began with service right out of high school. When I was 17 years old, I joined the Army. It was a very challenging, rewarding experience, and what was my most special part of that is that I had the opportunity to meet people from all over the United States coming together. We would commiserate through the challenges and struggles of basic training, but I learned to gain lifelong friends, and throughout my service, I learned a lot about respect and love and appreciation from many people from all over the U.S. Nobody joins the military or does what they do for the money or for a job. They learn really quickly that there's some higher purpose. Those that wear the uniform, they have a duty, realizing that this is more than just a job. It's actually a calling to do something for what people can't really do for themselves. And the ultimate price could actually mean the cost of their life, like thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans have in the past. And often that they realize that there really is not a choice, that this responsibility is not something that they choose, but that the responsibility chooses them. And the responsibility, when I was commissioned as an officer, rests with this document, the Constitution of the United States of America, and it serves as a reminder to me, but my oath of office is to protect and defend the Constitutions against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to hold true faith and allegiance to the same. So I would always carry one in my pocket to remind me of my oath that I owed the people of America my responsibility to do the job that I did the best of my ability. Also, while I was serving over in Baghdad, when I was working in the security of the international zone, I received a little note from a young lady in eastern Idaho, a thank you note, and it just says, "Major Pratt, thank you for serving me. Love, Susie." With it, there's a couple hearts and a couple flowers and a butterfly on it, thanking me for my service. And I would always carry this in my pocket along with the Constitution. And then I would always remember that President John F. Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And this has resonated with me throughout my service, and I remember that being told many times to me while I was in high school. I remember one story, too, that I often heard in the military, that Sir Francis Drake, as he was watching on the deck of the ship in the North Atlantic on a very cold, windy night, watching for the Spanish Armada for a potential invasion into England, one of his captains came up to him, to Sir Francis Drake, who was the kind of an admiral of a series of ships called the Sea Dog, and he said, "Sir, could you please come down? It is chilly, or could I offer you a coat?" And he said something that I always thought was really cool, is he said, "My flag keeps me warm." And so every time that I would be wearing a flag on my shoulder, I would always touch the U.S. flag as I would go out, touch the U.S. Constitution, and my little note from Susie, which was close to my heart, to remind me of my duty, that I served not only for the flag, but for a piece of paper, which is something that can easily be burned in a fire, but that meaning for that cause meant more to me than anything else that I'd ever won out of life. And so I just would ask you in your future to always pay respect to the flag. It means a lot to veterans. Always stand up and salute if you can, and put your hand over your heart and pay respect to the flag. But that's our connection as veterans and people that serve this country to each other, and it means a lot to us. And finally, don't be shy to ever thank a veteran, to just go up and say thank you. You don't need to give them money or food, just to offer them your heartfelt thanks. Don't be shy or timid about that. They really appreciate that respect if you just offer those two things. If you could just remember those two things, I know you'll be happy, and that veteran, it's a perfect way to thank them this Veterans Day. Thank you, and God bless America.
This is another special time in this program when we want to honor all of those family members of ours, friends of ours, or even some individuals who might be serving now in different branches of the service. So I'd like to invite you, as each one of the branches of service is shown and their respective song is played, if either you have a family member or you know another person who is a friend of yours serving, or even you are serving this branch, applaud when we reach that branch of the service and that song. This brings us to the completion of our program, or almost, because it's time for us now to retire the colors. So I ask you all to stand again as the Ada County Sheriff Office and the Eagle Fire Department Color Guards retire today's colors and end our program. The City of Eagle lost a prominent member in late October. As a past president of the Eagle Lions 616, Don Britton was instrumental in the founding of Eagle's Veterans Day celebration back in 2008, and he was its proudest supporter. The students, staff, and administration at Eagle High School would like to pass on condolences to the Britton family and honor his contributions to our community.